Now, with the greatest of pleasure and honor, joining me this evening is Sandra Smith, co-anchor of America Reports on Fox News. You are the best of the best.
I always forget my popcorn for that big riff off the top. It's so good.
I think I cut it back to 6 minutes because I wanted to give you far more
So
time.
good, but so sad. I mean, this is simple stuff. Increase supply. Okay, prices will go down. But I think to your point on Biden's raid on the Permian Basin, as the Wall Street Journal writes up,
that's a big thing.
43% of all U.S. oil production. I mean, this is a clear sign that this is not an administration that is ending its war on fossil fuel. And this is not an administration, as it's promising, is doing everything in its power to bring prices down, is doing what it's saying. That's just not the case. You know, it's really, really dangerous stuff when you've got this demonization of business in America, time and time again. First, it was the big oil companies. I should say after they said it was transitory, prices would come down. Then it was Putin's price hike. And then it was the big oil companies. And now they're going after the little guys, the gas station owners. I mean, it is almost hard to believe. And if this president would just take a moment to meet with those gas station owners, 60% of which are mom and pop, small independently owned gas stations across the country, they're struggling to survive. They're struggling to squeeze a profit.
Aren't they a lot of little mini supermarket type things?
Yeah.
Gas is just there to lure people in to
Absolutely.
buy. So they're not going to...
You wonder why they're trying to sell the donut and the coffee together in the front window, because that's where they make their profit margins.
A carton of milk and a couple of packs of cigarettes. Whoops.
But Larry, it's worse than the demonization of the fossil fuels, worse than the demonization of business. It's the demonization of profits. This is America. This is capitalism. I mean, where are we going with this? I mean, when you look at his latest comments on the gas station owners and the accusations of price gouging, you know what I always say? Bring forward the evidence. That is an incredibly strong accusation and allegation on these little guys. Bring forward the evidence. If they're price gouging, that's illegal activity. And we support you going after anybody who's doing that.
This is a great point. I want to just relate. Yesterday, our colleague, Neil Kudlow, who's one heck of a great broadcaster and questioner. So he had Pete Buttigieg.
Saw it.
And Neil made the same point you're making. Buttigieg accused them of price gouging.
Yep.
Gas stations, oil companies, the whole lot of them. And Neil said, you've looked at this for all these decades, and there's never been a single case of violating the law.
Yeah.
Whereupon Buttigieg, being the anti-capitalist that he is, says, well, that means we need new laws. So they'd love to have an excess profit law. That was his mindset.
It is really
and I thought that
something.
was very telling.
Yeah, and guess what? Just last week, the Biden administration, President Biden himself had the opportunity. He had the oil executives at the White House. He did not meet with them. And if there is more telling of a sign that this is not a priority for him to bring prices down, not meeting with the oil executives when they're right down the hallway, he then that afternoon met with the green energy executives. Larry, I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
He met with the windmill makers. By the way, it's worse. It's just slightly worse. The windmill makers got the Roosevelt Room in the White House. The energy CEOs who, as you correctly say, wouldn't meet with Biden, Biden wouldn't meet with them, he exiled them to the Energy Department, a couple blocks away, which is, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like 1970s public housing. But I digress.
Unbelievable.
And
your point is well taken. But and then when it comes to the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, you make the case that this is atrocious, that this oil's leaving the country. Well, it's because we're not in a position, Larry, to refine it. We're at max refining capacity. All these refineries that have come offline because of the demonization of the industry. I mean, oil, we need more oil, that's for sure, but we need more refining capacity to turn it into gasoline. And a bigger problem than sending it to China is the White House not even knowing it. I don't know if you saw Karine Jean-Pierre during the White House briefing yesterday. She said, I'll have to check on that report. I don't even know if President Biden himself knows that this oil is ending up in Europe and China. And then go beyond that, we have to replace what we take out of the emergency reserve.
I know.
So how are we buying this back?
We are depleting that by nearly 50% based on what's been done and the remainder of the sale, $1 billion a month. That is for energy security and national security, like a war. Not just, we're not at war in the Ukraine. We're helping the Ukrainians. But that's if, you know, if you had a 1970s where the Arabs shut down oil prices. They had an Arab oil embargo. That's what SPRO is there for. Biden is completely violating that. He's weakening our national security. And I don't know how. I mean, look at, Sandra, we should be exporting much more LNG.
Amen.
We make the cleanest in the world,
Yep.
which, by the way, would reduce emissions, particularly in places like China and India, but also like Germany's doing coal now. Why don't we just export clean gas, for example? And Biden won't let them. In other words, my point in the riff was simply everything you should do to increase production and reduce prices is being opposed. No new leases from Interior, no new permits from anybody, no help to refineries.
But we'll happily
whatsoever.
buy from Saudi Arabia, right?
Yes,
I mean, when
coming.
you look at the Permian Basin, what is it? The EPA, okay, they announced it may soon deem parts of the Permian Basin in Texas and New Mexico in non-attainment with its ozone standards.
Yep.
What about Saudi Arabian oil? What about Venezuelan oil, Iranian oil?
I agree. By the way, I don't think they have the authority to do that. That's part of this great Supreme Court decision, West Virginia versus EPA. But it'll go into the courts. God knows what'll happen before then. You see, no new leases and no new permits and no expansion of refineries. Really, the Congress, as the cavalry comes, will help. But you really need the White House to do that, and that's still 2.5 years away. Do you follow my logic?
I do.
This puts everything on hold. It has an inhibiting effect on all investment because you still have a president who says openly and frequently, I want to end fossil fuels.
More and more Democrats are frustrated. Okay, we've been reporting on that throughout the day. More and more Americans, as you see it popping up in the polling, they're frustrated, and Democrats are getting more desperate. The White House is getting more desperate. And by the way, on my way up here, I'm sure you saw breaking news. White House Communications Director Kate Bedingfield is stepping down. She's leaving this summer. You never know the reasons why people leave the White House. But it does seem like there's some growing internal frustration with how this administration is handling this.
You think she's going to be the communications director for Chevron? That was a joke. That was a joke. Time
You
out.
got me.
Joke, 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 joke. I don't know where she's going. No, they're jumping ship. His political fortunes are terrible. Just one last point, Sandra. The poll from Monmouth College.
Scary.
Every single category was about inflation and the economy, and 5% on abortion. I'm not here to talk a big abortion segment, but I'm just saying, if the Bidens think that the Roe v. Wade decision is going to replace inflation and the sinking economy into recession, they are wrong.
It was fifth on the list, and far away fifth on the list. The top 4 concerns of the American voter right now, months ahead of midterms, are bingo. Awesome team you've got, Larry.
Even like, look at that, everyday bills is ahead of abortion, but it's all the same. Inflation, gas prices, economy, and bills, it's basically all the same. You know, so let's see, 50, 60, it's about 2/3, almost, 2/3 economy and 5%
You know how
abortion.
I once had the chance to say this to Bill Clinton in a room here in New York. You know how you get a happy voter and a happy American? You create a business-friendly environment.
Which he did in a second term. He did in a second term. He had a rough patch, but it's a good point. And happiness is very important.
It is.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And that Monmouth poll does not show people are happy, and they're not happy with the direction of the country. And that's sad.
Cavalry's coming.
All right.
Sandra Smith. You can catch Sandra every day on America Reports, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox News.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much, as always.